I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud! Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being.
Perhaps. She'll move.
And then it... I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience, especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir...
Thank you, Sir Wei. If there...
I know.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
On your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess. I didn't take you for...
Oh, this? I borrowed... Oh, where's your sense from spit...
If it...
Well... But you're...
Something tells me...
Fantastic!
So,
The only... A beast, no doubt.
does the book say anything?
Well, only that the sweetest violets...
Roses. One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Those of us who are still here have to look after each other, don't we?
Ah, well.
Unwanted violets. If you have them.
Well, you're looking for scorpion tails. Unwanted used to chuck them in the pot when there weren't nothing else on offer. And even if they were, you wouldn't find anyone selling them these days.
Do the scorpion...
I dare say they do.
Thank you.
Stay sharp.
After what the Empire did to Martha's love, I'd be daft to stay. Don't you go causing any trouble now.
Let's go. Run like the wind. Scorpions. At least I know what I'm up against.
All yours, Torgal.
This one.
Go, Torgal.
Over here.
Go, Torgal. Stay down.
Over here. I better get this back to Yvonne before it goes bad. Or any worse, at least.
Did you find?
I did indeed.
Marvelous! Let's see. What am I supposed to do with this? It's poisonous, surely.
You wouldn't be wrong.
Into the pot it go. I present Chance's stew. Grab a spoon, Sid. Let's eat one.
I'm not hungry.
Well, it'll be too late once I've licked the bowl clean. Your loss. Odin's teeth. What the salt on the senses. It's like choking on swamp water. And yet, up through the pungency, there rise complex, meaty notes. It takes a moment to recover from such an onslaught of flavours, but never have I tasted... I must share this gift. I won't. A single mouthful, and Molly will be... How are you doing? Quick look. Seen enough?
How may I help you today, Clive? Your benefactors are a generous lot. All in good time, eh? Hasn't been delivered yet, I'm afraid. There are new billets being posted every day.
How did we never hear?
These
Guardians of the Flame.
Same way they never heard about us, I expect.
I could have sworn we had a few. That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
Clive? What do you want? Bring me the materials, and I'll think about it. That it? Fine. Back, are ya? Because I haven't. Still. You've forgotten already? Because I haven't. Still. Things here ain't too bad. Nah. What do you need? So, what'll it be? That it? Fine.
Well, don't just stand there gawping.
Well, you won't hear me. The only drawback, still.
If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it. It'd better all be here. You'll not find a better price than that. You're rubbing me blind, you know.
Enough of you are there.
Go for it! Get him! Over here! Go for it! Get him!
Hope there aren't any more of them.
Typical nobles.
How did we never hear about these Guardians of the Flame?
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Come to claim your just desserts? Here you are. Come again. I may have more for you.
Monster's taken quite a lot.
And what can I do for you? Go on, then. And be thankful you got that much. You got out else? And be thankful you got that much. You'll not find a better price than that. You're rubbing me blind, you know. It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know. Finished, are you?
Deadlands wouldn't be half as bad without all the bloody dust.
How did we never
There are
hear
new
about
billets
these
being
Guardians of the
posted
Flame?
every...
Clive! Oh, am I glad to see you?
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn, and if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally, it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? He's barely got... But I'm thinking he...
Fine. If you think it will help.
I knew you'd done it.
But if he doesn't...
All right, now, wait a bit.
Back again, Lord Ross.
It is not your...
What would... You'll... The mother... There was a...
As you know, the Iron Kingdom rules over the islands to the west of Storm. Or rather, its church does. But this is not the pragmatic approach to state religion employed by the Holy Empire to manipulate the masses. No, the Iron Kingdom is the literal embodiment of the crystalline orthodoxy. And so, if one is to understand it, one must start there. As the name implies, the orthodoxy holds the Mother Crystals sacred, and they do not take kindly to heathens plundering the objects of their worship for the means to fill washtubs and light lamps with frivolous feats of magic. Indeed, the faithful consider ether a sinful thing, a poison no less. And to them, a dominant is an instrument of evil, albeit one they have proven only too happy to turn against their enemies. Some 80 years ago in Northern Storm, Drake's eye collapsed. Soon after, in pursuit of ether and with the Blight at their backs, the Northern Territories descended upon the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. And when the Shields of the Flame marched north to meet them, the Iron Kingdom spied an opportunity. A few short days later, the Crusaders landed on the island of Mount Dristanus, home of Drake's breath, and plucked it from the Duchy's grasp. Rosaria tried to reclaim it, of course, but to no avail. I doubt more than a handful of Duchy men have set foot on its shores in your lifetime. Nor are they like to again, under the Empire's stewardship, meaning the Iron Blood will keep their island, and with it, the foothold they need to march on mainland soil when next they spy an opportunity. The Mother Crystal is both the object of the Iron Blood's worship and their gateway to the continent, making Drustanus the holiest of holy grounds, from which the Orthodox Crusade shall one day sail forth to claim the remaining Mother Crystals, or die trying.
My father and my grandfather both traded blows with the Iron Blood for control of Drake's breath. Had things unfolded differently at Phoenix Gate, we would have sent our entire fleet against them.
But instead, they sent their fleet against Rosaria, sacked the capital, killed the men, and captured the women, including Jill. I'd say you'd be forgiven for wanting a little revenge, Clive.
My only aim is to destroy the Mother Crystal. But thank you all the same. Not much else to do here. Let's see if Jill's ready.
Typical nobles. I could have sworn we had a few.
First August. And that, what's it got to do with me?
August was worried that something had been... I thought you might...
I told you not to stick your nose.
Clive just wants to help, innit? What's so bad about talk to him? Please, mate.
Phil, shut you up. It's nothing, really. Stupid. Not the sort of thing you'd bother people about.
Why didn't you tell us all this?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows me what the competition's up to. Interesting arms and armor, things like that. Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Masterpiece of level work. Light, supple, and tougher than it had any right to be. Made my stuff look like heavy, clumsy shit. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. Now, every time I reach for my hammer, I'm reminded that I'm not the craftsman I thought I was. There. You happy? You got what you came for. Now piss off.
All right, we're going. I always thought of old Blackthorn as a bit of a force of nature. Like a storm cloud full of ale. Didn't think anything could rattle him. Least of all a stupid piece of leather.
Blackthorn's always taken pride in it. Something tells me this is only if he has doubts. It will affect his work. Which will...
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have... Assuming you're happy to help, that is.
Too bloody right I...
Glad to hear it. Karen, Blackthorn mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass. An exquisite...
And he ain't been himself since he saw it. So we thought we'd...
Sorry, sold it already. Didn't think Blackthorn cared for it the way he turned his nose up. But it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke who made it is a bit of an odd one. Makes all his stuff to order, but the fella who commissioned it refused to pay. He didn't like the colour of summit.
You don't know where we might find him.
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd one. He don't trust hunters neither, which means he spends as much...
I see.
He did tell me, apparently.
Here, now where the...
Thank you, Karen.
At least you would...
So... It sounds like going up.
I'll leave the hunting to you. While you get on with that, I'll ask around the market.
Good idea.
Typical nobles.
Good day to you.
The crystals we get from the tailor all...
You're quite talented with that rod of yours.
I've caught my share with it.